All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you for being here today. I'm super excited to have Cassius Cain. Cassius, welcome. How are you doing?
Thank you for having me on the show, and I'm doing really good. Thank you.
Fantastic. So I want to bring people up on how did you and I meet because it was really cool, the universe connecting us. And I had Elle doing her NDE interview, and Elle tells me, there's someone that I'm connected with. He talks about being Lyran. And I think you guys would do great. You guys need to talk to each other. And so we connected, and you tell me a couple of things that you're left me like speechless. And one of them is you told me I was going to Egypt on a trip. And I was like, how does he know that? Like, I mean, that was crazy. And also that that you were in touch with the Galactic Federation and that they had told you that you were going to be working with me or something to that effect. And so um I knew that we were supposed to meet and that we were supposed to collaborate in some way. And but after watching your channel and your Instagram and all these things, I'm like, wait a minute, there's so much more here that I want to know and I want to talk about. So I figured, why not? Let's have him on. So, Cassius, tell me, how did you start this connection with the Galactic Federation?
It was really interesting. When you look at my life, you never would have thought I would. So my life started out, I was a really like light kid, and I was very empathetic, like super empath. And I always wanted to take care of everybody. And then high school came around, and I was like, my empathic abilities were strengthening, but I was really getting into this mode of like power, like self-empowerment. Little do I know, I was being pushed to actually step into a mode of power related to my soul ancestry, which was Lyra and who I was. And so I had no idea though. I was just getting into consciousness, astral projection, and then things started really piling up. And then it got to the point where COVID happened. And then I was stuck in the house for 2 years. And I was like, okay, well, might as well read something and might as well make videos about what I learned because that's all I'm good at is making videos. So next thing you know, I was starting to see what everybody was talking about, this universe, how the universe guides them and stuff. And I was like, okay, lady, like we're gonna see, right? And then it started happening to me where like the universe started like guiding me and sending me. I said the universe was sending me on assignments and missions. This is when I first started calling it that. But I had no idea it was actually the Galactic Federation. So they were like giving me baby steps. They're like, oh, we're gonna send you on an assignment to help this kid. So like they would say, oh, you got an assignment at the skate park because you got to protect these kids from reptilian attack. Same thing. I was like, all right, guys, we're gonna see. And then I go to the skate park and the kids are running up to me. There's a reptile being attacking me, and no one believes me. And I'm like, oh shoot, like this is like for real, for real. So I was low-key getting scared. I'm like, all right, so what's going on, guys? Because everything you guys say is right. And then they just blatantly told me we're the Galactic Federation and you work for us and you're an agent and we're pleased now that you're awakened to it. I was like, what? What is this Galactic Federation? And then I started going on a whole thing of learning about it and doing their assignments and missions. And really, that's what led to right now.
Wow, that's awesome. That is awesome. So when you found out that it was the Galactic Federation, did you ask um, more or less like who they were or what they were supposed to do, or what did you learn from them? Not from what you read out there on the
Mhm.
internet, but from your conversation with them directly.
That I was an alien. And I was like, what? And they're like, you're a pure Lyran. And they kept saying how much it was like a pleasure to like the ones that would talk to me, they're like, it's a pleasure to be here and talk to you and stuff like that. And they kept emphasizing how much respect they have for me. And I was like, interesting. Like, I want to understand why. But they're like, I was like, why you guys keep saying how much respect you have for me and all that? And they're like, they're just smile. They're like, we can't tell you just yet. And they're like, you're gonna figure it out yourself. And then little did I know that I was one of the people that is part of command for the Galactic Federation, like a commander. And I was like, whoa, and how all the stuff I used to do in the galaxy, and I could feel it, and they would give me these memories of who I was. And a lot of them were very painful, going back to Lyra and what happened to the people and stuff like that. But it gave me this internal power, and they showed me the truth of the earth and how it's like a quarantine planet, and we're here to help the beings on this planet to ascend, and we've been doing this around the galaxy for a very long time. And the fact that they awaken me a lot to my mission and what I'm supposed to be doing and how I'm going to awaken and the people I'm going to come across. But what baffled me was the truth of everything. They're like, look, you guys think this planet is just you and all of that, but really we've been here. And little things like alien invasions and how like that's real, like it's happening now, but there's also like alien like positive intervention, which is us as star seeds. Like we're here as agents incarnated as humans to help humans because they don't want to do like too much outside intervention, so they want to help from the inside. I thought that was super cool. I was like, that is something I would do. Like I'd be like, you know what? I'm gonna go in. I gotta be the ground team. So that's what they call us up there. They say star seeds are the ground team. So they're always like, no matter who you are, if you're a star seed, you know, we respect you for deciding to go on the ground. And I just think that's so cool. They call us a ground team. It's like the best thing ever.
That is so amazing. I know, I mean, I can't say that I might have been told that I am part of the ground crew. But it's never been direct like with you where I can hear them or anything like that. My messages have always been received either through my clients or through very close friends that have connections with the Galactic Federation.
Mhm.
So, so tell me more about how did your abilities change when you started having conversations with them? Did you see any change in your abilities or um, anything like that?
A lot. So I started noticing I was getting even more energetically sensitive, even though I wasn't even understanding of how it worked or how to use it. It was just like hard to be everywhere because I could feel everything. Now it's easier to control it, and I use it way more directly and advancedly, but it took me a lot of years to do that. And they would always tell me, okay, you're gonna evolve in this area, we're gonna grow your psychic abilities now so then you could do these missions we're training you for. And I'm like, okay. And it was I was kind of struggling to advance them, and it was kind of slow. I don't know, it felt very like something was missing, like I needed something more. So then randomly they would send me like the one time a crystal store. My mom came home actually, and she's like, "Oh, one of the crystal stores in Hamilton said that you needed this bracelet." And I was like, "Okay." And she comes to my house, and the bracelet was like this purple and clear quartz bracelet, and and the paper on it said to help with psychic ability growth and advance yourself psychically. And I was like, whoa, okay, directly aligned. And that wasn't the first time actually. When I was going through a hard time in some, I think it was like 4 or 5 months ago, another crystal store sent me these like blue crystals for sadness and like struggle. And she said, this is so when you're going through your pains to help you evolve, you put this at your throat and it's gonna help you. And I was reading it and it was all about sadness and stuff. I was like, I ain't sad. I'm good. And then like 2 days later, then stuff started happening where I was getting sad. And I was like, oh my God. Like the only just before we were talking on this, we were saying how we can't explain how the universe works and all that. We can only say it's magic. It literally is magic. Like all the people that sent me this stuff, they're like, oh, we feel like you need this, and your guide said to give this to you for your mission. And I was like, yo, what? Like, it is just no matter how much I try and disprove it, because I'm such an analytical mind, I will sit there and try and disprove it with all my heart. and I would always just get more proof. And they'd be like, listen, like we're trying to help you so you could do your mission. And now I'm like, okay, I'm listening and I 100% trust you guys.
Wow. I love it. And how do they reach out to you? Is it like a constant connection where you're always hearing them?
Mhm.
Or is it a specific time when you meditate? Or how do you get in touch with them or they get in touch with you, really?
It is all 100% telepathic. I could even just ask them a question and they'll give me answers to it automatically. And first, it was confusing me because I'm like, what is my mind and what is not? But
Yes.
then I was able to start to tell the difference slowly. Like, it's a different energy. This is where my advancement energy was coming into play too, because then you could feel the different energies of what's you and what's not. With yourself, it was more like the only way you could explain it is you could just tell it's you. So I'd ask them a question and then they'd give it to me directly. And at first I'd practice and I'd be like, all right, tell me what my next mission is, and then I'll see if it happens. And then from there, I was able to tell, okay, when they told me this, it felt like this. And then it happened. But when it was just me, it felt like this. So then it was like I was able to really tell the difference through experimentation. And then from there, now I it's like I don't even question anymore. I know exactly what is them. Sometimes they'll send me messages through other people, like they'll send another agent. They'll be like, "Oh, the Galactic Federation." I won't even know them, or maybe I haven't talked to them in years, and they'll come up to me, "Hey, just so you know, this, and that," and they'll send me something, or you need to know this. And then I look up at the Federation. They're like, we sent her, like we sent them for you." And I was like, "Okay." So again, it's super magical the way they move around the physical universe to help you, the way they send people messages. Sometimes spirits just walk through my portal and just start talking to me. At first, it was kind of scary. I was like, they were like, okay, sit down and you're going to do an interview with some spirits. I was like, okay, all right. And so then I sat down, and then the first being that came through, it was actually a dead guy. And I was like, "Hey, how can I help you? Like, like, what's up?" He gave me a message and then some other stuff, and then an octopus peeing walked through. And I was like, first off, I was like, "You are so cool." It's like a one-eyed octopus. I was like, first off, you are cool as hell. And can you tell me some more about universe, galaxy, whatever? They all had the same message for me, and they all were like emphasizing how grateful they were to talk to me and how it's a pleasure to talk to me like they always do. And I'm like, okay, thank you. And then I would just like from there, it was actually the first time was kind of scary. I didn't actually, it was in the middle of the night and I didn't want to go downstairs and even get a snack. I was like, I'm looking kind of scared. But just to have those being walk in and walk out and give me messages and tell me things about myself that I didn't even know, especially how grateful it is to talk to me as they kept saying, I was like, thank you. And yeah, it's just been a huge experience to have this different connection with them and always exploring new ways they actually talk with me.
Wow. And so you think that that first time was mostly for messages to be delivered to you, or
Mhm.
was it to open your psychic abilities, or both?
It was definitely both. That was my first time doing that like interview type style. That was a week ago, a week or two ago. So they said, okay, just try this out because now your abilities are stronger. So you can sit down and talk to spirits. And I can't see them like that. So to me, I always kind of doubt a little bit, but energy and feeling never lies. So when they walk in, I feel them walk in. And sometimes I'll see maybe a little haze of their body in front of me, or I'll see them walk through the portal like a bright light flash through the portal and come in, and a flashlight as they go out. And then I had huge confirmations like my mentor, you guys may know her, Dr. Dawn. She was like, "Oh, I see you have hundreds of beings coming in and out of your portal every day." And I was like, I felt that. And she knows everything. She's like, there's so many coming in and they love visiting you. They love coming to the commander's chamber. I was like, commander's chamber. Like, just so much confirmation and feeling. But yes, definitely that time was a week ago. And that was my first time doing it to that extent. So it was like experimenting with my new ability, I would say.
Ah, okay. Okay.
Mhm.
Very cool. So I see why they connected us. So I also got called commander in two different sessions of my clients under hypnosis. At the end of the session, I always say, well, thank you so much for being here and talking to us. And in two different cases, they said, thank you. It's been a pleasure speaking with you, Commander. And so,
Wow.
yeah, and so that's twice that it happened with two different clients. And so I'm getting now like why this connection is, it had to happen and was happening. And so um
And that
tell me,
explains why I felt so strongly with you. I'm like, this girl feels like we have worked together or we're meant to work together on like a leader level. And I've never found anyone energetically that I felt that with yet. So to feel that with you, I was like, okay, this is definitely confirmation with everything you guys are saying about we need to work together and stuff.
yeah, absolutely. So it's just exciting, because I had told them, okay, guys, I'm ready for my next mission or my next what's the next step in my life.
Mhm.
I've been able to manifest financial freedom, and I've been able to manifest everything that I've wanted. So right now I'm just kind of sitting retired, playing, pickleball and just doing fun stuff, but I'm ready to do like more of the psychic, more of the spiritual work,
Mhm.
and as you said, they're sending me to Egypt, so I know there's something I need to do there. And I'm just really looking forward to seeing what's next. But
Mhm.
something that I thought was really cool about your story is the story about, um, I saw one of your videos about talking about how you saw your Lyran, um, the Galactic Wars, and how I think it was the Dracos that was
Mhm.
it the Dracos that you were fighting?
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about that story and what you
So
saw.
when I was first getting memories, they showed me memories of me as like a bounty hunter. And I was like, I would raid draconian ships and then I would blow it up and then run away in my spaceship. Like really cool things you see in movies. And I was always so excited. I was like, oh my God, I was a bounty hunter. And they'd smile and be like, and they'd be like, look, you were like a lone bounty hunter in the galaxy fighting dark beings everywhere to protect the galaxy. And I was like, yo, like that is amazing. And I could feel it though. That was the thing though. It wasn't just like a cool story. It was like, that is who I am. And it's like I'm remembering a part of me I always forgot. So those memories were so emotionally deep. And then later on, I realized why they were giving me those memories first to hype me up and get me excited because then they started giving me the way harder ones. So like after one of the first hardest ones was seeing the Galactic War of like when I was a princess on this planet named Avalon and the Draco came in and they came in all nice first, but we knew something wasn't right. But my dad, which was the king, was like, we only knew love and peace then. So we were like, yeah, like it's fine. We could convert them, we could help them become light. And from there was like a miscommunication, and then they just came in and just destroyed like 4 or 5 of the planets, and a bunch of my family escaped. My parents did not, but I remember from there telling the people in the spaceship as we're looking at the planet, and we're like, never again. That was like the biggest quote was never again. And we're never going to allow beings like this to catch us off guard or to use our light against us. And then I remember telling everybody to go certain areas of the galaxy, and which is a lot of my family. I was like, hey, you guys are going to Sirius, you guys are going to Orion, and we had to like spread out so they couldn't find us. And I remember fighting in the war too because I thought it was like my fault. Felt like it was my fault that this happened. And so I went through like a whole week of like deep pains of this galactic war. I didn't even understand what I was seeing at first. I had to ask my mentor. I'm like, what the hell is this? Because this now, like people would think it's my imagination, but I'm sitting here crying about it. And she's like, you're just seeing the Lyra Draconian Wars. And then there was more to it. Like after some months of healing with that, Then I was seeing me as like when the Draco captured me and I was a sex slave. And that was the hardest memories to have. That took me about a week or two to fully get through. And I couldn't really talk about it with anybody because people don't understand.
Yeah.
So I just sat there with it. And the people that do understand, they could see it like around me and they were like, oh, I understand. Or like I would tell them about it and they would be there for me. But those memories gave me this deep strength to do the mission that's here. It explained me who more of who I am, why I felt certain ways, why I do certain things, and why everything happening on the planet now is happening. It gave me a fire to see what's happening on Earth and how the invasion here is happening on Earth, and then seeing how they did that to my home world, and I'm here to stop that here. That gave me like this inner power and like fire to really get things done.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. I love it. I love it how they're always giving us uh what they always know what we need. They always know like the
Yeah.
baby steps that we need. They just like know exactly like okay, baby step number 2, number 3, like they know
Yeah.
how much to give us and how much we can handle.
Hmm.
And how can you tell the difference between the Galactic Federation and let's say your guides? Or are they the same? It's possible they're the same.
I guess you could say they're kind of the same. That's actually a good question. I've never had someone ask that. It's like guys are people that are sensitive to energy will understand this. It's like guides are way lighter. Like it feels like a bright light. And then the Galactic Federation feels more spacey, like way more they're in the galaxy in the multiverse, like they're everywhere and they're here to protect all beings. So it's like you could feel the different levels they exist at. With guides, I find they'll give you little messages. Maybe they'll give you a little quick message about something. They'll be like, as you're in your incarnation doing stuff, they'll be like, oh, go here instead. Or, oh, remember when that happened? So they give you little messages, like little spirit, like almost like little fairies that are there and they tell you something. You're like, oh, yeah. And then it just like helps you with little things in a day. But the Galactic Federation's there for your mission on the planet. So it's like different levels. Guides are there for you soul wise and the Galactic Federation is there for you galactic and um 3D and 4D wise, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. So I understand that you started doing sessions for people.
Mhm.
Okay. So how can somebody find you if they would be interested in having a session with you?
If you guys would like, I love everybody I come across. They're all so damn unique and I learn a lot from them too. So it's a two-way street here. You guys can find me on Instagram. Just click the link in my bio. All my information is there. We're starting to go live every day now and we're starting to really get stuff moving and our community is really good. So if you want to join, make sure you hit up my Instagram.
All right. And what is that? What is it called?
You guys can find me at I'm King Cash and my TikTok is King Cassius.
Okay. And it's spelled Cassius.
Yes, thank you. Yes.
All right. Well, this has been awesome, Cassius. I'm so grateful that you're here with me and spending time with me. And I would love it if you could come back and we can talk some more.
Yes, that'd be so nice. I know we already have a lot to talk about. So I'm super hype and thank you again for having me here.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody, for listening, and we'll see you soon.